Cody Stamann, you're on Half the Battle with Dan and Shaq. How's it going, man?
Great, man. How are you?
Doing incredible, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Of course.
So, man, you're coming off the unbelievable victory. We spoke to you beforehand. You said you were going to go out there, derail the hype train of Tom Duquesnoy, and that guy's a warrior. You went out there and did your thing, man. Were you satisfied with the performance?
Yeah. I felt like I had more to give, of course. There's always things I feel like I can improve on. But, yeah, I was happy to go out there and get the win against the tough guy like Tom.
And Cody, I have to thank you once again. I told you I bet on you in your UFC debut, and I also bet on you against Tom, and you came through, which you are known for. But that fight was a tough fight, man. You went through adversity in that first round. It seemed like he was, getting off a little bit on the high kicks, but I felt like you were making your presence known even though in that first round. And then the second and third, man, you completely showed why you are a step above him. Now, with that win over a guy like him, who in that top 15 do you want next?
I'll take anybody. I'll take anybody in the top 15. Today, is a guy that I feel like is a good or bad matchup for me. I just want to get in there and I want to keep moving up. These guys, probably still maybe don't know who I am, but if I go take out a big name guy in the top 10, no one's going to be able to ignore me after that.
Now, Cody, I'm sure you get asked this a lot, and I bet it's pretty annoying, but I have to ask you anyways because I was watching the fight. There were moments in that fight when you were looking up at the clock. Now, was that strategic? Were you trying to time certain things, or were you genuinely curious how much time was left?
There were a couple times that I was just, my foreman wouldn't really tell me what was going on with the time, and I was just curious how much time I had. The game plan was never to shoot at a certain time or just take whatever opportunity Tom gave me. I'm always curious. I do the same thing when I spar. I always check my clock to see how much time I have left. And I don't know if it's it's a habitual thing. It's not like I wasn't fatigued. There was no point in that fight where I felt like I was tired. Well, nothing like that. I just I don't know. I just felt like I didn't know how much time's going on.
And, in your debut, you had mentioned that against Tyrion Ware, when you got on top, you felt that you were, just holding on, for position. But in this fight, we saw you bust Duquesnoy up pretty bad in that second round. And, what was so impressive in that third round, you completely beat him on the feet in every exchange. Do you think it was more of a case where you felt like Duquesnoy was maybe getting a little discouraged that he couldn't finish you in that first round? Or do you just think that your pressure was too much for him?
I think my pressure was too much for him. He wasn't used to a guy being able to take his shots and just keep coming forward and coming after him. And, he never really been taken down. And like I said before, like I told you guys, I feel like he never really fought somebody that was as complete a fighter as I am. He fought guys that were good grapplers, fought guys that are good checkers, but he never fought somebody that could do both and do both well. And, that's why I knew going into the fight that, I was going to dictate where the fight went. And, ultimately, I could beat him anywhere I wanted to.
Look, Cody, I respect anyone that steps inside the UFC's octagon, let alone any cage. But there's winners and there's losers. There's guys that alternate wins and losses, and then there's the guys who are consistent winners. You're a consistent winner. Where does that winner's mindset come from?
I just look at every single fight like, I'm fighting for my life, honestly. But at the same time, I kind of had that calm demeanor, coming into a fight, I don't get all amped up. I'm not one of those guys that's page down before in the locker room. And I'm pretty chill. I could have a conversation with you the same way I'm having a conversation with you right now before I go on and fight. But, I think my competitive nature just comes from, years and years and years of being, an athlete. I played 4 or 5 sports growing up, consistently my whole life. So, I kind of got to know what works best for me, get me mentally and physically ready for any really any kind of competition. And, when I get in the cage, I like to know and unbiased. Yes, you won that round. No, you didn't win that round. Cause I'm the kind of guy I have a gas tank that, if I feel like I lost the rounds, I'll come out that next round and go, 3 times hard, and that's kind of what you saw in that fight. My corner told me, that first round was really close. You got to go out and win the next 2 rounds, and that, kind of changed my mentality. Going to that second round, I felt like I had a little bit of a little bit, not like desperation, but I really had to, I knew I had to push. And I expected him to come out in that second round kind of with the same mentality, and he did for about a minute, but, then he kind of hit pace.
And Cody, obviously before the fight, Tom's the number one bantamweight in Europe. He's a model. He's got a lot of things going for him, and you take that spot. But even before the fight, man, even though I felt like you weren't getting all the respect you deserved, you were getting some pretty good comparisons. I mean, Sean Shelby was comparing you to Jimmy Rivera, saying that he really thinks that you could fight in the top 10 right now. And I mean, do you think just more and more performances are going to get you that big name, or do you just think do you think you kind of need a push from the UFC brass?
I think I can get any fight I want right now. Really, I mean, I think it comes down to is how I market this the next couple months. If I really want to fight somebody in the top 10, if I want to fight a big name guy, I know all I have to do getting ranked 14 is just call that dude out. Talk about his mama, talk about whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there are ways to get fights outside of just, being the next guy. And I'm kind of proactive in my career, and I'm kind of deciding who I fight and, kind of who I go after. That's something that I talked to with my management, and, we're still kind of in the kind of like the trial phase of, who I think I should fight next. There's a few guys I have in mind, a few guys they have in mind, and we're just going to go from there. I'm really, I think I'm not necessarily going to pick my next fight, but, I'm definitely going to, tug on a few guys' tails, see if I can get them to want to fight, make the matchmaker job a little easier.
Do you care to share who you want next?
No, I'm not going to say anything. There's quite a few guys, a couple of guys that have fights coming up. There's a couple guys in the top 10 that I really feel like, don't really belong there anymore. But no, I'm not supposed to say anything, not for another couple weeks. Until, the kind of this is all settled, with this fight, then I'll start talk about it.
But bottom line, you feel like you're ready to go in there with the Tomas Almeidas and the Jimmy Riveras of the world, right? You don't think you need to fight a Hanayaya first yet, right?
No, I mean, I fought 17 professional fights. I could have easily been in UFC 2 years ago, and and I could have 5 fights in UFC. A lot of the guys that I fought coming into the show, are pretty elite too. Good records, and tough guys, tough competitors. So I feel like I might only have 2 UFC fights, but I have a lot more experience than that. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot more big fight experience. I fought 10 main events before I got into UFC. So that's a lot. I had a big fight experience. I had that 5-round experience. So for me, like maturity level as an athlete, like, I can fight anybody. If something happened to, TJ or Cody, I would obviously get that fight next. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to fight anybody.
And I felt like the Detroit fighters they've been showing good things. I mean, I felt like Kevin Lee had a great performance, even though he didn't get the win. I felt like he fought admirably. You got Bobby Nash, Jared Brooks, Darren Cruikshank just got a win, and I mean, it just seems like you guys from Detroit are just doing big things right now.
Yeah, it's been that way for a long time. Detroit fighters have long been really tough dudes in the sport. The Thomas Hearns and Joe Lewis's, and that's just a few of the names. You know what I mean? Like, Detroit's been a staple in the boxing community, and someday it'll be a staple in the MMA community. You just gotta keep winning. You know what I mean? Keep training together, keep picking each other up, and get better, and take over.
So, Cody, after your fight with Duquesnoy, man, it was a split decision. Did you know without a shadow of a doubt that you won that fight?
Oh, yeah, I knew when that fight was over. As soon as the fight was over, I knew that I won. You know what I mean? I felt like I easily won those last 2 rounds. The first round was close. Uh, Significant strikes were pretty close, and I had a couple takedowns. I didn't know what people were judging. Knowing that I was the underdog basically means you really got to go out there and make a statement in Vegas. But, yeah, I mean, a split decision, like, back then it was a split decision. I was, like, what in the hell is going on? You know what I mean? I've had that, my one professional loss over a tough split decision like that, a fight that, I think everybody thought I won. My coaches were all pretty confident, you know what I mean? Like, and it was the same thing, I was like, man, dude, please do not happen again. That's what I always think about, was like, man, am I about to go through this whole experience again? In that last judge at 30-27, I was like, well, there's absolutely no way on God's earth that he won all 3 rounds. So that's got to be for me, and obviously it was.
So, I mean, did anything surprise you in there with Duquesnoy? The reason I ask, man, is because this kid's got a reputation for being a wild man. I mean, he knocks dudes out with elbows. He knocks dudes out with flying knees, spinning kicks. I mean, did anything surprise you in there?
No. I mean, I kind of felt like I shut down a lot of his offense. He never really he maybe got 2 or 3 elbows and knees off in that whole, in the whole fight. I mean, I never really let him get into that clinch. I took him out of his game. I backed him up. I don't think he knew what to do when I was doing that stuff. 'Cause I think he was hoping to fight his fight, and I made him fight mine. And I don't really see anybody else doing that to him. So, yeah, no, nothing really surprised me. I actually thought he would push a little bit harder in those last rounds, but I think I got him a couple good body shots that really slowed him down.
Cody, how was that weight cut to 135 this time?
Dude, honestly, the weight cut was the best weight cut I've ever had. I got down to like 146 pounds, and then just cut the rest in water weight, and I never get that low. I usually have to cut a lot more than that. So, I think I'm starting to really dial things in, being that, fighting my only gig now, I'm a lot more dedicated, focused to this. And the weight cut should just keep getting easier.
So, man, I mean, you thinking about taking one more fight this year? Are you done for the year or what?
I consider fighting December 30th. There's a fight, December 9th, Brian Caraway and Luke Saunders. One of those guys gets hurt. I'm going to try to, jump on that. Those are both guys that are ranked high and are well known. Caraway preferably be the one that's healthy and the guy I could potentially fight. But, yeah, I mean, I want to get another one.
It's
healthy.
Sorry to cut you off, bro. It's funny you bring that up because it's Caraway, the one that's known for pulling out a lot.
Yeah, he is known for pulling out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that guy, that's one guy, I feel like if he didn't have a fight, I would have already called him out. That's a guy I definitely would have argued trying to fight. Because, I don't necessarily think he's belongs in the top 10 anymore. He just doesn't fight consistently. I just don't know how he's still there. And, I'd like to open that case up put my name in there.
For sure, man. And, I hope you start getting these fights like that because I feel like you would go out there and rise to the occasion and beat a guy like Caraway who's kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, never really knows his where he's at in this sport right now. But, I'm looking for you to fight a guy like, a Thomas Almeida or like a Hani Yahya. Get that first big name under your resume. Duquesnoy's a big name in Europe, but, when you fight a guy like Almeida, it's like everyone knows who he is.
No, I agree. That's something that we talked about with my management, and I think they definitely want me to fight a big name. I don't know who it's going to be, but I imagine the next fight's going to be a pretty mainstream dude. I just want to renegotiate my contract and get some more money.
Good idea. Well, Cody, look, man, I don't ask every guy that I interview on the show these kind of questions, but like we mentioned earlier, some guys, they alternate wins and losses. Some guys are happy to be there. You're a true winner, right? So I only ask guys like Jimmy Rivera this or James Vick. So I'm going to ask you this, man. Do you think this time next year you're going to be a UFC world champion?
Absolutely. That's always been my goal. I never really set my goal to be like in the UFC. I've always kind of known I was going to be in the show, based on how much dedication I had to the sport. I definitely think I'm going to be a champ. Whether it's within a year, within 2 years, I don't know. I don't know what the time frame is. I gave myself a time frame to get to UFC, and I'm about 2 years behind right now. So I got some time to make up. I got some butts to kick. I'm gonna stay active. I'm not gonna sit on the bench for 12 months and get for 6 months and get fat and kind of be content with where I am as an athlete. I want to be a household name in my division. So I still got more work to do. I got more people to beat, and look for me to take out somebody in the top 10 here soon.
Do you feel the love from the matchmakers, man? Because like Shaq said earlier, on that preview video for the last card, Sean Shelby compared you to the number one contender, Jimmy Rivera. Jimmy Rivera's a guy, he's like, 22-1, a crazy record like that. He's about to fight Dominic Cruz. So when you're getting comparisons like that on only your second UFC fight, I mean, do you feel the love and the appreciation from the matchmakers?
Yeah, I think Sean Shelby realized that I'm going to be a more elite guy in the division, and I'm serious. I'm a guy that can fight anywhere. And I really appreciate and accept that. If there's one guy you really want to impress, it's Sean Shelby. So to hear him say that stuff, it means a lot.
Well, Cody, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us right here, right now on Half the Battle. It's always a pleasure. Congrats again on the win, man. Let the fans know where they can follow you and any message for them. Go ahead.
You can follow me at Cody Stamann, my Instagram and Twitter. Thank you guys for having me. I just tell the fans that I'm the next superstar at bantamweight, and keep an eye out because I'm going to be beating all their current favorite fighters.